Do you know what hurts more than losing money? Losing respect, slowly, silently, until people start avoiding you, not because they hate you, but because they can't stand what you've become. And the scariest part? No one tells you. They just stop calling. They stop visiting. They stop listening. And one day you realize you're alone, not because of age, but because of habits. Let me tell you something most people won't say out loud. Old age doesn't make people unattractive. Bad habits do. And today, I'm going to expose 13 ugly habits that quietly destroy your respect, your relationships, and your financial life. Because yes, these habits don't just push people away. They keep you broke, dependent, and stuck. Listen carefully, because if you catch even one of these in yourself, you can still change everything. The first habit is complaining about money all the time. You know someone like this. Maybe it's you. No money. Everything is expensive. Life is unfair. They repeat this like a broken record. At first, people feel sympathy, but after a while, it becomes exhausting. Because deep down, people don't avoid poor people. They avoid negative energy. And when you constantly complain about money, you're telling the world one thing: I have no control over my life. That mindset kills opportunities. No one wants to invest in someone who has already given up. Even worse, your brain starts believing your own complaints, and suddenly, you stop trying. The second habit, refusing to learn anything new about money. The world changes, money changes, investing changes, but some people stay stuck in the same thinking from 30 years ago. I don't understand this online stuff. Stock market is gambling. Business is risky. So they do nothing, and slowly, inflation eats their savings alive. Let me be honest. If you stop learning, you start losing. Not overnight, but slowly, quietly, painfully. The third habit, being cheap instead of being smart. There's a difference. A smart person saves money where it doesn't matter and spends where it improves life. A cheap person cuts everything. They don't invest in health, don't invest in learning, don't invest in growth. They only focus on saving every rupee. And what happens? They end up paying more later in hospital bills, missed opportunities, and regret. People don't respect extreme cheapness. It doesn't look wise. It looks fearful. The fourth habit, always talking about the past. I used to earn this much. I had land. I had opportunities. Used to, used to, used to. Let me say something clearly. Your past success has zero value if your present is weak. People respect what you are doing now, not what you did 20 years ago. And when you keep living in the past, people feel uncomfortable because they see someone who stopped growing. The fifth habit, giving advice nobody asked for, especially about money. Don't invest in this. Do this business. I know better. But when people look at your life, they don't see results. And that's where respect disappears. Advice without results feels like noise. If your financial life isn't strong, your words won't carry weight, and people will start avoiding conversations with you. The sixth habit, depending on others financially without trying to improve. This one is harsh, but true. Everyone needs help sometimes, but when help becomes a habit, respect disappears. If you always rely on children, relatives, or friends without effort to improve your situation, People don't feel inspired by you. They feel burdened, and slowly, they distance themselves. Financial independence is not just about money. It's about dignity. The 7th habit, refusing to adapt to new ways of earning. Today, people earn online. They invest digitally. They learn from anywhere. But some people reject everything new. I'm too old for this. No, you're not too old. You're too comfortable. And comfort is dangerous because it slowly turns into irrelevance. The 8th habit, jealousy of younger people's success. This one is silent, but powerful. When you see someone younger earning more, building faster, growing quicker, what do you feel? Pride or jealousy? If it's jealousy, people can sense it, even if you don't say it. And nothing pushes people away faster than hidden bitterness. Instead of learning from them, you criticize them, and that keeps you stuck. The 9th habit, not taking care of your financial discipline. Spending without thinking, borrowing without planning, ignoring budgets. Age does not excuse irresponsibility. In fact, the older you get, the more disciplined you should be, because you have less time to recover from mistakes. The 10th habit, blaming others for your financial situation. Government, family, economy, luck. Blame is easy. Responsibility is hard. But here's the truth. The moment you blame others, you give away your power. And powerless people are not respected, even by themselves. The 11th habit, ignoring health while chasing or saving money. You save your whole life, but ignore your body. And then one day, all your savings go to hospitals. And worse, you become dependent on others. Money without health is not wealth. It's delayed suffering. The 12th habit, fear of investing. I might lose money, so you do nothing. You keep your money sitting, slowly losing value. But here's the irony. Not investing is also a risk, a silent risk, a guaranteed loss over time. Wealth is built by calculated risks, not by hiding. And the 13th habit, losing curiosity about life. This is the most dangerous one. When you stop asking, how can I grow? How can I earn more? How can I improve? You don't just stop growing financially, you stop living. People are naturally drawn to energy, to curiosity, to growth, and when that disappears, so does connection. Now pause for a second. This is not about judging anyone. This is about awareness. Because these habits don't appear overnight. They build slowly, year after year, decision after decision, and one day you wake up and wonder why life feels empty, why people are distant, why money is tight. But here's the powerful part. You can change, at any age, right now. You can choose to learn again. You can choose to take control again. You can choose to rebuild respect, rebuild wealth, rebuild yourself. Start small. Learn one new financial skill. Track your spending. Invest a little. Stop complaining. Start creating. Because the truth is, people don't avoid age. They avoid stagnation. And money doesn't disappear randomly. It disappears when growth stops. So decide today you won't become that person. The one people tolerate but don't respect. The one who talks but doesn't act. The one who lives in the past and fears the future. Instead, become the person who evolves, who adapts, who inspires, who proves that growth has no age limit. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how long you live, it's about how powerfully you live, financially, mentally, and emotionally. And that choice is still in your hands. And if you're still listening, that means something inside you knows this is real. Because most people don't stay this long. They hear uncomfortable truth, and they run. But you didn't. So let's go deeper, because what we've talked about so far, that's just the surface. The real damage of these habits isn't what people see, it's what they do to your future. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two people, same age, same background. One decides to keep learning, keeps adapting, keeps pushing. The other says, "I've done enough. I'm too old. It's too late." 5 years pass. The first person is earning more, thinking sharper, respected by younger people, financially stable. The second person? More dependent, more frustrated, more isolated. Same time, different mindset. That's the power of habits. You don't notice them daily, but they decide your destiny quietly. And here's something most people never realize. Respect and money follow the same rules. They both go where growth exists. They both disappear where stagnation lives. That's why some people grow richer and more respected with age, while others become invisible. Now, I want to challenge you with something uncomfortable. Look at your daily routine, not what you say you'll do, what you actually do. Do you spend time learning about money, or just worrying about it? Do you look for opportunities, or just talk about problems? Do you invest your time wisely, or waste hours in things that give no return? Because your daily habits are giving you your future in advance, right now. And if you don't like where you're heading, you don't need luck. You need change. Let me tell you a short story. There was a man in his late 60s, no big savings, no business, no fancy education. But one day, he made a decision. He said, "I will not spend the rest of my life depending on others." So he started small. He learned basic financial skills. He understood how money works. He started saving, then investing, even if it was a tiny amount. People laughed at him. "Why now? What's the point?" But he didn't stop. 3 years later, he wasn't rich, but he was independent, confident, respected, and that changed everything. Because independence changes how people see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. That's the goal, not just money, freedom, choice, dignity. And let me be very clear, it's not about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about becoming someone who is in control, someone who understands money, someone who doesn't panic, doesn't depend, doesn't complain. Because when you become that person, opportunities start noticing you. Yes, noticing you. Because opportunities don't come randomly. They come to people who are ready, prepared, open. Now think about this. If a great business opportunity came to you today, would you recognize it? Would you have the courage to take it? Or would fear stop you? Most people lose not because opportunities don't exist, but because they are not ready when they arrive. And preparation comes from habits, small, consistent, daily habits. Let's make this practical. From today, start with just one change. Stop saying, "I can't afford it." Start asking, "How can I afford it?" That one question changes your brain. It shifts you from victim to problem solver, from stuck to creative, and creativity is where money lives. Second, spend at least 20 minutes a day learning something about money. Not gossip, not random videos. Real knowledge. How to save better, how to invest smarter, how to grow income. Because knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is. Third, surround yourself with people who think forward, not people who complain all day. Energy is contagious. If you stay around negativity, you will become it. If you stay around growth, you will rise. And finally, take action, even if it's small, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if you're not sure, because action beats perfection every single time. Waiting for the right moment is one of the biggest lies people tell themselves. The right moment is now, not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because every day you delay, these habits grow stronger, and breaking them becomes harder. But the moment you decide, truly decide, everything begins to shift, slowly but surely. And one day, you'll notice something powerful. People start listening to you again. Respect returns. Confidence builds. Money starts flowing better. Not because of luck, but because you changed. So don't ignore this message. Don't just feel motivated for a few minutes and then go back to old patterns. That's what most people do, and that's why most people stay stuck. Be different. Use this moment, because years from now, you will either thank yourself or regret that you didn't act. And deep down, you already know which one you want. So stand up, take control, and prove, not to the world, but to yourself, that your best financial chapter is not behind you. It's still ahead.